Now on to another Clinton County-based company. This business has its hands in the IT side of retail stores across the area. Take a look. You might not be familiar with the name, but chances are you've used one of their products. Fujitsu is a multi-billion-dollar global company specializing in IT products and services, making everything from software to PCs to self-checkout units. These point-of-sale systems and some of their other technologies are manufactured at this location in Plattsburgh, New York.
We have quite a large list of customers, both locally and nationally. If you walk through just the mall here, Champlain Center North, 60 to 80% of the stores in there are Fujitsu customers, whether it's Fujitsu hardware that they're buying or it's a service that we're providing, such as our staging integration service. So while the Fujitsu name may not be very common to people, it's definitely out there, and either you're seeing the name on our equipment or you're not seeing the name on the equipment, but we had some value that we added to that store to make that store operational. Price Chopper, for example, they take our self-checkout product, they also use Fujitsu software.
The plant has been here since 2004, but it was in fall of 2011 that Fujitsu North America consolidated its manufacturing operations for their point-of-sale systems in Plattsburgh.
Expansion happened here for two reasons. One, Fujitsu had multiple facilities. Neither facility was at capacity. So in order to reduce costs, they decided they needed to consolidate facilities into one facility. So we looked at about 17 different scenarios of where we were going to move the business. Plattsburgh was the right place to move that business to. One, from a labor workforce point of view, two, from a cost-benefit point of view.
The CEO for the North America division was among the company's representatives at the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the plant expansion. It was a growth that created about 50 new jobs for Clinton County.
I've been here a year and a half. When they had the expansion, I was one of the first wave of people to come on board. We get the older units from the stores and they come to us and we take a look at them. You can see over here, I've got a box open and I'm putting it out onto the table and I'm plugging everything in and then running it to make sure that it works.
Others arrived at Fujitsu not long after Lenore, some with a strong interest in information technology.
It's an always changing environment, being involved in the technology field. There is always changes happening to both the hardware and the software. There's always an opportunity to learn. I've only been here for a little over a year, but there are individuals who have been here for more than 10 years that will say that there's still things that they're learning on a daily basis.
Since the expansion, there's still one Fujitsu product that clearly receives the most production attention.
Basically, there's three main parts to a self-checkout. We have our robots, you have a bag scale, and then you have your cashier stations. Generally, this is the same thing that you'll see in every store. We have to install components into each area of this. So you'll have your bag scales that go in here, so whenever you're buying fruit or vegetables, you're setting it on there. That's also doing the scanning of your barcodes in that same location. You've got your bill pay, bill acceptors. When we open up the casings, we'll be installing. This is where our bill recyclers go. In here, we'll be sticking our PCs. You can see down this line we have 8 different stations. The first 7 are assembly. The 8th station is a test station where we are actually, we start running test transactions. We've got all the different electronic components that are getting installed. We've got a data collection system that's set up, so when they enter that PIN, that will tell them what parts need to go in. You'll notice that each of the production employees is wearing a blue smock. That's to prevent any damage from electrostatic discharge. It takes very little electricity to damage electronic components. So that helps conduct that static electricity that gets generated from just moving your arms on your cotton clothing. So everything here, we set up each station on this line to be a half hour. So we work 4 10-hour shifts, so in a 10-hour shift we can produce 20 robots is our capacity. Then all of the other components, cash drawers, keyboards, pin pads, monitors, all of that will come in here and it will get unpackaged according to what needs to be staged with the PCs. So after we have everything unpacked, it comes here, it goes into assembly. We have specific assembly instructions for each of the employees, depending on the configuration from the customer. We set up stations, again, like we do on every other line. It'll go, once everything's assembled, it goes out onto the lanes to have software loaded onto it.
While that's happening, some of the PCs are going through a series of tests.
Right now we're working on, these are 3,600 units. We refer to them as the Yukon. And we'll see one coming up here shortly in the some of the test programs that we have to run. Everything has been checked, it's passed. If one of the USB ports or one of the regular COM ports had a problem with or an issue, it would show up in red right here in this area. So we're good to go on that. Our next step is to load the operating system onto the PC.
Then there are also service requests. Customers like Victoria's Secret receive what's called a staging and integration service.
A company is basically outsourcing their IT department to us to deploy a rollout across all their chains for them. So a retailer may have 500, 600 stores, but their IT group may only be 10, 12, 15 people. So they can't necessarily deploy 5,000 point-of-sale registers across their entire chain in 4 months with a group of 15 people. So what they'll do is they'll come to us, they'll say, Fujitsu, can you manage this rollout for us? We want to send hardware to your facility. We want you to assemble it for us. We want you to load our software. We want you to do configuration of the software for us that is store specific. And then we want you to ship it to the store, so when it arrives at the store, all we have to do is take it out of the box, put it on the counter, plug it in, and everything's running, everything's working.
Everything has to make it to the store exactly on time, or that store can't open. The time crunch has put a little bit of pressure on the scheduling department.
We work primarily off of the customer's requested delivery date. We take that piece of criteria and then we put into place a calculation for transit time so the material can get to site. We have several orders that come across as new stores, so when there's an install date, it's crucial to meet the RDD.
Nisha was born and raised in the North Country, but natives like her aren't the only ones grateful to call Plattsburgh home.
I've noticed a significant change in the area as far as the amount of development that's going on, the activities that are now available to people in the area that weren't necessarily there back when I first moved here. So I think the area is doing a great job to attract businesses, to attract people to the area.
The growth here, he says, has made the name Fujitsu a little bit more recognizable in the community.
We are continuously looking for new business. Quite honestly, I would like to see us outgrow this space and move into a larger space, more employees, and really become one of the biggest employers in Clinton County.
For Mountain Lake Journal, I'm Tamika Weatherspoon.
And we're joined now by Dick Zarski, Senior Vice President of Manufacturing and Supply Chain for Fujitsu Frontech North America. Welcome. Nice to see you here.
Thank you.
A lot of positive things involving your company have been happening here in Plattsburgh over the past couple of years.
Yes, very much so. It's been very exciting for all of us.
You first opened your manufacturing facility here in what year?
We acquired this facility from a company called Optimal Robotics in 2004. So we bought that company out as well as this operation here in Plattsburgh at that time.
So it wasn't necessarily that you targeted Plattsburgh and said that's where we want to be. The company had a manufacturing plant here and you took it over.
Exactly. It was a good result.
What is it about Plattsburgh that is attractive for your company?
We've had the opportunity now to be in the area, operating a manufacturing plant since 2004, and many things have worked in favor. Good workforce, good area, proximity to our supplier base. A lot of good things have worked together and have made this operation very successful for us.
As we just saw in the piece, you manufacture here electronics that are point of sale electronics, computerized scanners, cash registers, things like that we see in retail stores.
Transaction devices, exactly.
And that is an exploding industry as we go into stores now and can see more and more stores having this technology.
More and more so as you go from standard point of sale and standard checkout to mobile technologies for even easier shopping experiences.
Locally, for folks that go into, say, Price Chopper and other stores, they see your equipment, your technology there.
Where they check out and in the back rooms, you'll see our products with our name on it in all parts of a transaction, all parts of the retail transaction.
And that equipment made right here in Plattsburgh.
Exactly.
You have grown quite a bit just in the past couple of years. It was back in 2011 when you were in town to announce that you were consolidating your point of sale manufacturing to Plattsburgh, some operations from California. I believe you moved 50 jobs here.
Right.
What has happened since then?
We consolidated our self-checkout business, which was the business that was historically here, at least since 2004, with our more traditional point-of-sale equipment manufacturer that we had based in Southern California. Consolidated here, and we have expanded probably about 10% over the last 2 years.
And do you see in the next year continued growth? I think in 2011 you did about $800,000 worth of business from this particular plant, and that grew several times in 2012.
Yeah, absolutely. Our division totals about $120 million in revenue, and all that hardware revenue gets generated now out of this facility.
Do you see not only sales growth, but do you see more expansion in the future?
And new products. Retail technology is changing. We're getting more involved in different versions of self-checkout as well as mobile technology, and our product base will be changing as well.
This is one of those industries where things literally, it seems, almost change overnight.
As is true in all electronics manufacturers, technology and products are changing continuously.
You have a fair size of the market, and are you looking to expand that to both here, but across the nation and globally?
Globally, especially for our retail business. Fujitsu is absolutely committed to the retail business on a global basis and is really dedicated and focusing on expanding that.
Did you find a talented pool of workers here that you were able to train?
We did overall. I would like to say, and perhaps as a challenge, a lot of the assemblers and technicians that we do use in our facility, we're hoping to see more of them come out of school and gain more experience in the future and make it more available into the marketplace and workplace for us.
And that's interesting you say that, because for many people that is an issue here. They say there are thousands of open jobs in Clinton County, yet it's finding that talented worker, that qualified worker, that trained worker to fill those jobs. And I think they're constantly looking to provide a worker to companies like yours that they can train in advance and train to do the jobs that you need them to do.
Sure. Our world is changing, our economy is changing, our products are changing, technology is changing. So what was needed by us as a company and by the marketplace 20 years ago, 10 years ago, is different than what's needed now. So it's a challenge for all of us, all workers in this economy, to have the right skills and the skill sets to be attractive in the marketplace.
You're, by all accounts, a great neighbor here in Clinton County.
We hope so.
Investing in the hospital, providing scholarships for CV Tech, the trade school here in the area. And this is a time, though, that we see fewer and fewer of those companies that have that business culture, that really commit themselves to their community and are good neighbors. Is that just part of what your company's all about?
Certainly part of the culture and the DNA of Fujitsu. And for us, we love being in the area. We appreciate all the help and support that we get from the community, from the government, and from all the businesses in the area, and we like to be able to at least reciprocate in part.
The county has been able to, in the past, get grants from New York State. Also, economic development money has come from the state, Empire State Development, as far as a tax break. Not a huge one for a corporation your size, but are incentives like that what keep you here in the county, or do they at least make a difference when it comes to you saying, yeah, we see a future in Plattsburgh?
They're certainly a part of it. They're definitely part of it, but not on its own. Many things have to come together to make us be successful in the area, and we've got a lot of those things going for us here.
Does it help at all, the proximity to Montreal and Canada, or does that really not make a difference when it comes to your company like it does so many others here in Clinton County?
A little bit. We do some ocean export into Europe. We do have some products that we build and manufacture and ship into the European marketplace. So being in Montreal is the closest water port to Europe, shortest sailing time. So being in Montreal is helpful, but certainly being on the 87 corridor where there's lots of activity between Montreal and New York, and the border activity is certainly helpful for us in our transportation services requirements.
As we see Tech Valley growing in the Albany area, a lot of that is research and development. Mm-hmm. Global Foundries is based there, but does that have any impact on your business?
Absolutely. That's where ideas come from, that's where ideas get generated, that's where the new technologies will get created and which we will bring into our products. Absolutely, we very much welcome that, look forward to that.
As you look down the road, future, 5 years, what do you see for this plant?
New products, different products, new technology. Mobile technology, which you are starting to see get introduced in the stores, being able to shop with your tablet or even with your smartphone. And newer scanning devices, RFID equipment, all of which Fujitsu has currently and will be bringing into the retail marketplace. So you'll see new and more exciting products coming into this factory.
Dick Sarsky, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk with us.
Pleasure. Thank you for all your help.